Hi there, my name is Ronnie Agustin, and I'm going to talk about the phoneme consonant sound in American English. The phoneme consonant sound can be described thanks to the manner of articulation, the point of articulation, and the voicing. The manner of articulation refers to whether the airstream is modified in the vocal tract. The point of articulation refers to the articulators involved in the production of sounds, and the voicing refers to whether the vocal cords vibrate or not while we are trying to produce a sound. The manner of articulation can be further classified as plosive, fricative, affricate, nasal, and proximate. The point of articulation can be classified into a bilabial, dental, interdental, alveolar, palatal, velar, and glottal. In here, we have an example of each consonant sound and its classification. For example, we have p, p, which is voiceless. The point of articulation is bilabial. The manner of articulation is plosive. And we have an example like pet, pet. Then we have b, b, which is voiced. The point of articulation is bilabial. The manner of articulation is plosive. And we have an example like but. Then we have t, 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 which is voiceless. The point of articulation is alveolar. The manner of articulation is plosive, and we have an example like time. Then we have the, 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 which is voice. The point of articulation is alveolar. The manner of articulation is plosive, and we have an example like dog. Then we have k, 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 which is voiceless. The point of articulation is velar. The manner of articulation is plosive. And we have an example like kite, kite. Then we have g, g, g. The point is voiced, and the point of articulation is also velar. The manner of articulation is plosive. And we have an example like go. Then we have mm, which is voice, and the point of articulation is nasal. The no. The point of articulation is bilabial. Mm, the manner of articulation is nasal, and we have an example like man. Then we have n, which is voice, and the point of articulation is alveolar. The manner of articulation is nasal, and we have an example like name, name. Then we have ing, 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 which is also voice, and the point of articulation is velar. The manner of articulation is also nasal, and we have an example like sing or morning. Then we have which is voiceless, and the point of articulation is labiodental. The manner of articulation is fricative, and we have example like fish, fish. Then we have v, 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 v. The point is voice. This one is voice, and the point of articulation is labiodental, v. The manner of articulation is fricative, and we have an example like van, van, van. Then we have which is on voice, and the point of articulation is dental or interdental. the manner of articulation is fricative, and we have example like this. No, we have example like then, 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 then. And we also have the, the, which is boys. And the point of articulation is dental or interdental. And the manner of articulation is fricative. And we have example like this. And then we have is voiceless, and the point of articulation is alveolar. The manner of articulation is fricative, and we have example like song, song. Then we have z, z, which is voice, and the point of articulation is also alveolar. The manner of articulation is fricative, and we have example like zoo, zoo. Then we have sh, sh, which is on voice, is voiceless, and the point of articulation is both alveolar. The manner of articulation is also fricative. We have examples like she, she, and then we have z, z, which is voice, and the point of articulation is also post alveolar. The manner of articulation is fricative. And we have examples like beige, beige, beige. And then we have which is obviously on voice. The point of articulation is glottal. The manner of articulation is fricative. And we have examples like hat, hat. And then we have ch, ch, ch. The point of is this one is also voiceless. The point of articulation is post alveolar. The manner of articulation is affricate, and we have examples like check or child. And then we have j, 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 d, d. Is this one is voice? The point of articulation is post-alveolar. The manner of articulation is also affricate, and we have examples like jam, j, j, jam. Then we have r, 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 which is voiced. The point of articulation is alveolar. The manner of articulation is proximant. And we have example like red, red. And then we have yeah, 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 which is the only one that point of articulation is palatal or lingual palatal. And the manner of articulation is also proximant. And they have examples like yes, yes. And then we have wah, 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 which is also voice. The point of articulation is labial velar because this one have 2 point of articulations and is also proximant as a manner of articulation. And we have examples like when or where. And lastly, at least, we have il, il, which point of articulation is voice. This one is voice, and the point of articulation is alveolar. It's also called lateral. The manner of articulation is proximant, and we have an example like lamp, lamp. That's all for me. Burning out.